Hi, everyone. Welcome to WSAZ Plus on this Saturday evening. I'm Taylor Eaton, joining you from our studios here on streaming to give you an update. And we are going to be doing this periodically throughout the evening and in the days ahead to try to give you the very latest on this winter storm as it has now arrived in the region. We are seeing the snowflakes falling everywhere, already starting to stick to the roads, and the problems are only going to get worse from here. So we have our entire team of meteorologists that have been with us this evening and will be in the days ahead, trying to track the very latest with this storm. It's been very challenging because even up until this point, as you're going to hear from meteorologist Dylan Godet here in just a second, it's been really tough. Just because of the nature of this storm. And I'm going to get him on live with us here to explain that a little bit more. Dylan, for everyone that is with us right now on streaming, why has this been such a tough storm to really get a grasp on, even up until this point?
Well, it's a strong system for one. So because it's such a strong system, a lot of factors, small little factors can dictate whether you're seeing a lot of snow because some areas across the region are going to see a lot of snow, the most snow they've had in a couple years. Some areas are going to be dealing with freezing rain. Other areas aren't going to see freezing rain or as much of that snowfall. They're going to see sleet, which are those frozen ice pellets, which would accumulate a lot less than the snowfall. And then some locations tomorrow will turn over to some rain before everyone gets cold again. So when you have all four different winter precipitation types in the forecast, it makes things really challenging.
Sure. Okay. So let's just go over where things stand right now, because this has arrived on time, just as you all were forecasting. It's here, and it will be well into tomorrow. It sounds like that's when things really pick up in intensity and get a little bit worse for us as far as the roads are concerned, travel. It just sounds like things are really going to deteriorate from this point. So let's just get the very latest on where things stand right now, what you're seeing.
Yeah, we do have that winter storm warning that's in effect. It went into effect earlier today. It's going to be lasting through the rest of your nighttime. And that, as you can see on the map here, includes all the tri-state, all the region, and a large portion of the country. It's going to go down as in terms of the amount of people under a winter storm warning at one time. It may be the most ever for us. So our current forecast does have, if you're from, say, Portsmouth, Ironton, up towards Jackson and Athens, you're going to stay mainly snow with this system. That purple area, though, just south of that, which Huntington's right on the edge of it, you're going to see snow and some sleet eventually by tomorrow morning. Now, as you head from Huntington south to Louisa, up areas into Putnam County, along I-77, south of Ripley into southern Jackson County, and then into parts of central West Virginia, you're going to kind of have everything. You're starting out with snow right now. You're going to switch to some sleet. You'll see some of that freezing rain and ice, which could be a problem, especially the further south that you go, and then eventually turning over to some rain. And then right now we're seeing some snow into Pikeville, Logan, and Charleston, but you'll eventually turn over to some freezing rain and then rain tomorrow before everyone ends with the snow. Our snowfall forecast, we really haven't changed this much since we originally made it. The heaviest snow, Cincinnati up towards Athens, and then as you head further into where you're going to see more of those precipitation types, that's where things step down. This is our ice forecast, and some parts of the coal fields and into parts of eastern Kentucky, you have the potential for upwards of a ½ inch ice. When you get over 1/4 of an inch, pushing a ½ an inch, that's where you see more of the potential for power outages. And the ice potential early in the week, that maybe wasn't our biggest concern, but it's become a bigger concern to say the very least. So you're definitely going to want to keep that in mind if you're in any of those locations. Doppler radar right now, because the temperatures are so cold, we actually have some drier air that's worked in for, say, Huntington, Charleston, and up towards Spencer. So right now, just some light flakes, but you notice that darker shade of blue down into southern portions of Kentucky. That's some heavier snow that's going to try to work our direction. We did see those light flakes here in Huntington. We've got some flakes moving into Prestonsburg and Pikeville. This is already in Pikeville one of your most impressive snows so far this season. They've missed out on a lot of the activity. One band that I'm really watching right now, and meteorologist Nicholas Snyder pointed this out to me, just south of Louisville, over basically parallel to I-64, there's a pretty good band of snow that's developing. That's going to continue to work its way north and eastward, will likely impact northeastern Kentucky and into parts of southern Ohio here before too long. Clash of the air mass, mild air to the south, cold air to the north, and that's what's fueling this system. So by midnight, notice how we're already starting to see some freezing rain across our far southern areas, and then that rain tries to work its way further northward. But I still think there's going to be some pockets of freezing rain in there. By midday on Sunday, southern West Virginia coalfields, southeastern Kentucky, you may be at all rain and could even see some periods of heavy rain. But you head north of the Ohio River, Portsmouth seeing snow, Parkersburg seeing snow. And then as you head later into the day on Sunday, everyone drops those temperatures. So even if you're seeing rain at times on Sunday, I think it's important to note that by the time the nighttime rolls around, that's going to refreeze because temperatures are going to be cold, and we'll see additional snow showers that may last off and on throughout most of the day on Monday. And it is going to be downright frigid. Look at the temperatures in terms of the feels like temperature by Tuesday morning. We could see wind chills 10 to 20 degrees below zero. So that's why we do have that continued first low weather day, not only for Monday, but for Tuesday as well. And if you want to look ahead after this system, we could be talking about some more light snow arriving by your Thursday.
Wow. All right. Well, this is a serious winter storm that has arrived here. It's hard to believe. What was it, December? We were seeing 60-degree temperatures.
Yes.
I felt like at that point, eventually, I thought, oh, we're going to pay for this. Like there's going to be some system that's lurking, waiting for us. But you called this a long time ago, Dylan. I remember in our winter weather special that you thought there was going to be this big storm that would come our way, and here it is. And now that it's arrived, is there anything that's really stood out to you about it? Maybe something that's kind of caught you a little off guard?
Well, this initial kind of push of snow, it's kind of lightened up here in Huntington, but it stuck pretty easily to the roads. It's very fine snow. We haven't had a lot of snow like this so far this season. This is snow that you kind of see like in northern Minnesota, for example. It easily brushes off of surfaces. Usually we see kind of a wetter snow here, so that's one thing. Another thing, it's now looking more likely after we switch back over to snow for everyone Sunday night, we could be below freezing area-wide for the next week plus. It may not be until the first couple of days of February that we get above freezing. So areas with snow, with ice on the roadways and on those grassy surfaces, if you have several inches of snow for parts of Ohio, that may be on the ground until we turn that calendar over to February, and if not, a couple days into the month of February. So don't expect this to go anywhere. This is a cold Arctic pattern, one that we really haven't seen like this and this intense in terms of the cold air probably in a decade, since February of 2015, really looking at some of the numbers. And for an extended cold stretch as cold as this, have to go back over a decade.
And Dylan, before I let you go here real quick, because I know you all are busy this evening. I don't want to keep you too long because you'll be joining us at several points for the hours ahead. You keep talking about that warm area that's going to set up shop. And, I feel like anytime I hear about ice, I always get concerned because we think about storms of the past and what it's done for our area. What spots are really a concern for you for that maybe we would get a little bit warmer and ice would become a big problem?
Well, definitely looking at parts of the coal fields and then into southeastern Kentucky. The one thing that may help things out a bit is if temperatures at the surface warm up above freezing, which we are expecting at points of Sunday. But because we're putting down the snow tonight and into tomorrow morning, that's going to keep the air at the surface likely a little colder. It's almost acting like an ice pack for the ground and kind of cooling that air around it. So that may lead to this freezing rain lasting a little bit longer in spots. So if you're in, say, Paintsville, if you're in Wayne County, if you're in southern, maybe Lincoln County, those kind of areas, we could be dealing with over 1/4 inch of ice, and that's where you start to really see some of those issues. And then for our friends in Beckley and into southeastern West Virginia, if you have any loved ones there, they could be dealing with a significant icing event into those areas as well. So definitely, hopefully you get those supplies for the potential of losing power if you're in those locations.
Yeah, and Dylan, both of us being from West Virginia, we know the terrain that causes a lot of issues when it comes time for those power crews and those other essential workers that are out there trying to restore things. Getting to people and getting to those problem spots, that's a challenge all in its own just because of where we live and where we call home.
Yes, absolutely. And then with as cold as it's going to be, if you don't have power and it's feels like temperatures 15 to 20 degrees below zero, actual air temperature below zero, that's where it really becomes dangerous. And we saw that last year. They were, when we had the early January ice event in spots, unfortunately, some people lost their lives across the region because they didn't have power and it got so cold that it became dangerously and deadly, unfortunately. So make sure, again, you have those supplies, those areas that they have the supplies they need to potentially stay warm if you do lose power.
Right. And this is a good time for us to be all checking on each other like we always do in these situations. Make sure if you have neighbors that might be a little older, if they have family that live far away, just stop in, give them a little check or call over and just see if they have what they need. This is the time that we all need to be neighborly and thinking about each other. Dylan, we appreciate you joining us here at WSAZ Plus to give our viewers an update on what we're seeing. It's going to be interesting when we all go to bed and then we wake up in the morning to see what we have, and we just got to push through it. So we appreciate you keeping us up to date and working to help our viewers to stay safe throughout the entirety of this storm. We'll see you back here in just a little bit and at 10 and 11.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for staying up late for us.
Yes,
I know.
Thank you.
This is a totally different shift for you. Yeah. Yep. Well, we'll make sure we get you some. Dylan, thanks so much. We appreciate you being here. Thank you. All right. Let me clear out Dylan here because I'm going to get a report here momentarily from our reporters that are out there in the field with us. I believe, let me see here if I can get Mr. Andrew Colgrove live with us here at WSAZ Plus. Hey, Andrew, can you hear me?
Hey, Taylor, how are you?
Hey. Well, I'm good. I'm good. Are you staying warm? How are you doing out there?
Good.
Trying at least?
No. I do have gloves, which is more than I can say for our photographer, Quinn.
Oh,
he
no.
says with gloves on, it's too difficult to maneuver the camera around. But he's got pockets, so he's doing the best he can, but I feel a little bad for him.
Oh, well, listen, hopefully we can get you inside a car and maybe back to the studio here soon so that way we can get you warmed up.
When we
hoping.
get inside the car, we've got the heat cranked up to the max,
Good.
for sure, yeah.
All right. Well, Andrew, appreciate you being here at WSAZ Plus with our viewers to give us an update on the conditions, what we're seeing out there. So you are in Grayson, Kentucky, I hear. It looks like the snow is still falling and the road's covered behind you. What have you noticed as far as changes within the last little bit that you've been there?
Well, the snow has been steadily coming down here in Carter County for about 3 hours now. Maybe about half an hour ago we had a very brief break, but then it started coming back down again. And right now we're in a parking lot close to the intersection of Route 60 and Route 7, Carroll Malone Boulevard here in Grayson. And if you look at the road here, there is a thin layer of snow over the road. And as we traveled, if you watched on WSAZ, we were in Olive Hill during that newscast. We've moved to Grayson, and traveling on I-64 between Olive Hill and Grayson, it looks very similar to what you're seeing on this roadway right now. Mostly covered, where there's a little bit more traffic on the interstate. There were some tracks there that were a little bit more clear. I can tell you we didn't have any problem. We did drive about 20 miles under the speed limit traveling from Olive Hill to Grayson. Didn't have any trouble getting here. Didn't see any other cars that had slid off the roadway, so that's a good thing. Can tell you, though, as we were driving in Olive Hill on one of the side roads going up a hill, slid a little bit right there, so the roads definitely are starting to get slick. Also can mention that just a little bit before you came to us, Taylor, maybe about 5 minutes, we did see a snowplow go through this lane closest to us to where I'm standing on the road here, and you can probably not notice a whole lot of visual difference that you wouldn't think that a plow had just been through here a few minutes ago. So that's one of the problems the crews are going to have throughout the night, I'm guessing, as the snow continues to come down. There's only so much they can do because the snow is going to recover the roadways here. So obviously anybody traveling out tonight is going to want to be extremely cautious and careful because one minute and you're slid off the road, maybe into another vehicle, and that's not a problem you want to deal with, especially when it's this cold outside.
Oh, yeah. Well, Andrew, I know you said that you've traveled a couple different roadways through there, and, crews have urged everyone, if at all possible, to try to stay off the roads. Oh, I see a snowplow there behind you. But look, there is essential travel sometimes that has to happen, and people need to get out. what road reports would you share with them? What have you noticed as far as conditions on the different roads that you've been on?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, I-64 was probably in a little bit better shape than some of the side roads that we've been on so far. As I can mention, as we were traveling on I-64, we saw a snowplow and salt truck that was just parked and waiting in the median. So guessing they were just waiting to get back on the road and plow once a little bit more had come down. But as I mentioned, some of the less traveled roads we're seeing more of the snowfall add up on there, and mentioned driving slid a couple of times, managed to stay on the road, but gives you a little bit of a startle when that happens. So certainly conditions not ideal. That's why we heard from a business in Olive Hill earlier, an owner of a business there, saying that they were closing 5 hours early because they wanted to make sure their employees all were able to get home before the roads are getting like what we're seeing now.
All right. Well, Andrew, we appreciate the report. Andrew joined us several times in our special newscast, our special edition of WSAZ. We were on for an hour this evening. We'll be back at 10 and 11. Andrew, appreciate you being here. We'll let you and Quinn hop in the car and get warmed up and tell Quinn he's a trooper.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey.
I'll pass that along.
All right. Sounds good. Andrew, appreciate you reporting with us. Thank you so much. All right. So there you have it, a look at some of the conditions that we are seeing across the tri-state. Andrew reporting for us from Grayson, Kentucky. We're going to be checking in with our reporters throughout the evening here on WSAZ+. They'll be joining us occasionally here to give us a ground report of what they are seeing, because you want to know what it's like in your community. So we're going to try to do our very best. We're working to keep our crews safe as we send them out to give you reports on what we are seeing. But it's arrived. The storm is here. Our meteorologists have been tracking it and telling you about it for some time. So hopefully you are watching with us bundled up at home in the comfort of your house, maybe by the fire with a warm cup of coffee. That's what I hope for all of you. But we understand these are going to be some dangerous conditions that'll set up over the course of the next 24 hours for us. And just know that you can count on us to be here. We have a full staff here today and tomorrow. Our updates will continue into the night, and then we will be back tomorrow morning with a special edition of WSAZ Today that will start at 6 a.m. because you've heard our meteorologists talk about the fact that overnight into tomorrow is when this thing really picks up in intensity. And that's when we could notice that big shift and the warmer temperatures that could create some really dangerous conditions for us into those overnight hours and as we wake up tomorrow morning. So that's going to do it for us here at WSAZ+. I really appreciate you all tuning in with us for our coverage here as we try to keep you updated as best as we can and informed of the situation to keep you and your family safe. That's the ultimate goal here. And so hopefully we are doing that. Appreciate you tuning in. For now, I'm Taylor Eaton here at WSAZ+. I will join you back here in just a little bit, should be around 9 o'clock. Hopefully I'll have Tim Ear here back with me. He's gone out to grab our crew some dinner, which is really nice. We appreciate him doing that. So we're going to take a little break here. We'll be back hopefully around 9 o'clock. He may be back before that. I don't know. He may join you again here at WSAZ+. But otherwise, I will see you back at 9 o'clock and at 10 and 11 this evening. Appreciate you joining in for our coverage of this winter storm that has arrived for January of 2026. We'll keep you updated into the evening hours, everyone. Appreciate you being here. Have a great rest of your evening.